The Many Origins of Scootaloo by Defender22. Chapter 10. Princess Luna. Twilight Sparkle was, at the moment, not a happy unicorn. That may have been because he had spent the last 2 days getting roped into hearing every crazy theory about Scootaloo that citizens of Ponyville could throw at her. Or perhaps it was because he had just been abducted by Princess Luna, who had suddenly believed that the lavender unicorn was her daughter. The far more likely reason for her annoyance was the fact that Luna, in her delusional state, believed that Twilight was her baby daughter. That also explained why Twilight was suddenly trapped in a giant crib and wearing a diaper. You know, I don't think cribs are supposed to have bars on top, Twilight complained, rattling her cell with her hose and finding that the structure was simply refused to collapse. But if the bars were in there, the babies would escape, said Luna, prancing about the room while dusting, and Molly can't have her little Twilight Moody sneaking out and getting into trouble. Sparkle. My name is Twilight Sparkle, Twilight said with a groan. Luna giggled. Someone is cranky. A sour look flashed across Twilight's face. Maybe some pony is cranky because you put them in a diaper! Her heart glowed, but Luna had enchanted the crib to prevent her from doing magic. And much to Twilight's shame, she could not figure out how to simply rip the diaper off. Please, Princess Luna, I'm a grown-up mare. I can use the bathroom like any pony else. Turn it over. Luna made a funny face. Aw, my little filly thinks she is a big mare. I am a big mare! Twilight shot back, and I don't need a diaper! Her mother clicked her tongue, disagreeing with this statement. I know you think you could use the potty all by yourself, but that little accident you had on the flight up here proved otherwise. That little accident was caused by a deranged princess kidnapping me after I drank 17 glasses of tea! Twilight blessed the memory, hoping no one had seen her wet herself. Great meeting, Everypony. See you next week, the great and powerful Trixie called out to the other members of the group. Bye, Trixie. I'll see you tonight. Bring your saddle. Gilda purred. Trixie gave her girlfriend a saucy wink and headed back to the apartment. Prince Blueblood rolled his eyes in disgust. After his auntie, Celestia, had heard about his treatment of her prized pupil's Twilight friend, Rarity, she had decided to punish him with community service. For the last 15 months, he had been spending his days leading a group therapy sessions as losers and rejects sobbed about being kicked out of Ponyville by the elements of harmony. Blueblood personally thought they all needed to grow a pair. Still, he wasn't going to let their pretty little worries get him down. He had the rest of the week off. The sun was shining, and overhead he could see birds flying, bees buzzing, and, "Oh, that is the name of the Discord," Blueblood said, looking up in confusion as he saw his Aunt Luna carrying a struggling Twilight Sparkle towards Canterlot Castle. The unicorn was screaming. Something then, her legs did a weird jig and... Wait, why is she... Wait, did she just... No! Blueblood shielded himself. No! Luna smiled, reaching through the bars to give Twilight's head a pat. Aw, my little folder sassy made a boom boom. Twilight growled and snapped at the princess's hooves. Well, someone is fussy. I think it is time for your nap. Can I take it back at my house? Luna either didn't hear her or chose to ignore her. Now, I have the perfect bedtime story in mind. I heard you were asking about Scootaloo. Please, no, Twilight whimpered. So I'm going to tell her your secret origin. Twilight's lip trembled before tears burst from her eyes. No one knew exactly what caused it. Maybe some flying space junk struck the ancient prison, which looked like a dumpster. Or perhaps the magic that held the seal finally wore off. The reason didn't matter. All that mattered was that being contained within was released once more. At last! After 1,000 years, I'm finally free! Nightmare Moon cackled. Her shadow bolts nodded their heads in agreement, thrilled to be free of the dumpster. Nightmare had spent the last 300 years singing that song that never ends. They had lost most of their troops to mass suicide. Now we will turn our attention to Equestria! In Equestria, in a secret structure known as the Command Center, Princess Luna had looked at the viewing screen and felt dread enter her heart that it's the sight of her old rival free from her prison. Ay, 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 ay! Spike squealed in panic, flailing his arms. What do we do, Princess Luna?
The time has come, Spike. We must summon 6 young mares with attitude.
Princess Luna, you were Nightmare Moon. Princess? Fine, Mom. You were Nightmare Moon. See, was that so hard? And no, you just think I was Nightmare Moon. That is a terrible lie started by the real evildoer, Princess Celestia. You know what? I don't think I even have the strength to point out everything wrong with that sentence. Meanwhile, in Ponyville, best friends and mares with attitude, Twilight Sparkle, Rarity, Applejack, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Pinkie Pie were all practicing their martial arts skills. Because that is what you do if you are a cool mare, apparently. But what's really strange was that Snips and Snails teased them and called them dweebs, when clearly they were the hottest mares in all of Ponyville. Pinkie Pie was just about to show off a carrot backflip when she had mastered, when the 6 of them were transported from Ponyville and beat directly to the command center. What is going on? Rarity said, Hey, look, a baby dragon! Pinkie Pie bounced over to Spike and began to inspect him. Wow, you are so cool! Can you do any special tricks? What are those things on your legs? Why are you that color? Pinkie, you can't ask dragons what color they are, Twilight grumbled. I thought we had been over this when we caught you with those bad ponies. Sorry, Twilight, I just got excited. You can't blame me for that first time. I thought they were all dressing up like ghosts and burning lowercase t's. Sorry. The girl stopped speaking when Princess Luna stepped forward to address. them. Greetings. I am Princess Luna. I have brought you here to help save Equestria from a great fate.
My sister, Princess Celestia, once tried to steal the moon from me because she knew it was awesome, and she was totally really uncool and wanted to be cool. I was willing to let her have it because I am nice and the best mama anywhere. But then, for no good reason, literally, she turned into Nightmare Moon, an evil alicorn that wants to take over Equestria. Now then.
Wait, she must have a reason.
Twilight interrupted, not realizing how annoying it was when she did that. Hey! Well, she didn't, and now she is sending her shadow bolts down to terrorize Ponyville. Only the 6 of you have the power to stop her by becoming the Harmony Rangers.
Shucks, I don't know about that, knowing Princess Luna, ma'am, Applejack said. Why does she sound like that? Applejack doesn't sound like that. Now, do you want me to continue the story or not? No! I've been telling you no for hours! I have to agree with Applejack, Princess, Fluttershy said humbly. We're not strong enough to be Harmony Rangers.
But you are. You see...
The lights dimmed, and Luna intoned the truth to the 6 mares.
1,000 years ago, the 6 of you were princesses on the moon, serving me, your queen. But when Celestia became Nightmare Moon, I transported you to the future and erased your memories, so you can live as normal ponies, until the time it came to become Harmony Scouts. Rangers! Whatever.
This makes no flippant sense. Luna blinked, startled by Twilight's outburst. I mean, first you say we were picked because we were mares with attitude. Then you say we were really princesses of the moon who were sent to Equestria but had our memories erased. Wouldn't it have made sense to let us keep our memories so we would be better prepared to fight? Why am I arguing this? What's that, Moon Pie? Why am I arguing this when I know it isn't true? And how do you know that? Luna said sweetly. Because I'm not a Harmony Ranger, you deranged psycho! Twilight roared in Princess Luna's face. Sniffed. Princess Luna? Twilight said a bit softer, eyes growing wide when she saw fat tears rolling down the moon goddess's cheeks. I just wanted to be a good mommy, Luna whimpered, her chest quivering with each sob she tried to choke back. I read this book on new moms and what they should do with their new daughters, and I just thought... Twilight closed her eyes and reached over, patting the princess's hoof. It's okay. No, it's not! My baby hates me! Twilight bit her lip, wanting to desperately scream that she wasn't Luna's daughter, and she didn't even know how the guys came to that conclusion. But seeing the princess so broken up, and realizing Luna had made the same mistake Twilight had during her first slumber party, Mom, I'd like to hear the end of the story. Really? Luna whispered. Twilight massively smiled. Sure. The Cerebolts laughed, attacking innocent ponies, because that's what you do when you're evil. Apparently. Remember, kids, martial arts equals good. Trying to kill ponies equals bad. Ponyville was in shambles, and every pony tried to escape the attackers. Save 6. Ready, girls? Twilight said, standing dramatic in front of the Cerebolts. Ready! It's morphin' time! Honesty! Loyalty! Kindness! Inspiration! Generosity! Nectar! Magic! The girls were instantly clothed in spandex suits that were the color of their body. Isn't racist in the slightest. And the helmets had viewing windows that were in the shape of their cutie mark. You'd think that would make it hard to see, but... Magic? The Cerebolts stopped their hooves and rushed into battle. The girls charging at them and performing impressive, impractical martial arts moves. Hey, where's the roll call? Good thing we are all world-class karate experts, or this would be difficult. Pinky said happily. High-kicking a shadow bolt was trying to sneak past her. On the moon, Nightmare Moon was not happy. It's time to control things up a nuts! Her horn glowed as she sent the magic blaster to Equestria. Magic horn! Make my shadow bolt grow! The girls began to back away as one of the shadow bolts grew to the size of a dragon. It stopped its fluff as it sent them all flying away in a cheesy way. What are we gonna do now? Let's summon the Megazord! Daz exclaimed. Firesight shook her head. Princess Luna hasn't been able to get the funds to buy it yet. Kids, remember to ask your parents to buy you the Harmony Megazord, available at your local Toys R Us. Who are you talking to? What kids? Shh, burping time. Listen, I will call you Mom, but I will not let you... See? Just keep going. What about Kamehameha? No could do, Twi. That belongs to a different story. Meanwhile, on Namek... No! No! Nail, a Namekian warrior in the service of the Namek, Lord Guru, stepped forward.
What is it, Lord Guru? We are an overhyped internet sensation. How is that different from every other day in our lives? I mean a different one!
Guru shouted. Just when it looked like their first mission would be their last, several bolts of energy struck their giant shadow bolt and sent it crashing to the ground. Who's that? Verity exclaimed, pointing to the new ally. The figure wore an orange spandex uniform with purple highlights and was standing on a high-tech scooter armed with laser guns and all sorts of gadgets. I am Scootaloo. I either hail from another world where ponies have descended from bugs, or I was a prisoner who was almost turned into a cyborg slave, but I escaped before the brainwashing step. Now I fight evil. You don't know what you are? Twilight asked. Shouldn't you know your own origin story? Well, it kind of... Listen, that isn't important! I haven't randomly appeared at the last minute, and now I will help you all. Let's take down this monster! Princess Luna, I'm sorry to interrupt your private study time, but Twilight! Twilight and Luna looked up, startled by the appearance of shining armor, Princess Celestia, Cadence, and Tidal, who went a bit green at the gills at the scene playing out before him. During the last bit of the story, Luna had managed to get Twilight out of the crib in a bit of a bonnet and was in the process of rocking her when the others had burst in. Help me! Twilight whimpered. Celestia shook her head. Luna, Twilight, what you do on your own time is your own business. But I... Twilight stammered. Tidal grumbled to himself before speaking.
Luna, please release her.
The moon goddess reluctantly let the lavender mare go. Twilight slamming to the ground.
Shining armor, please debaby your baby sister.
Yes, Lord Tidal, the White Unicorn said, using his magic to lift a sputtering Twilight up and marched out the door, his sister floating close behind. Cadence followed after him, confused by the entire situation, but going with the flow, as were her nature. Celestia waited 30 seconds before the tearing laughter she had been trying to contain bubbled up from her lips. I can't believe you put her in a bib. She began to make plans to use a magic depiction spell to get the image of Twilight being cradled by Luna made into a photo as soon as possible. I knew you were planning on the diaper. Luna smirked, all traces of sadness and insanity leaving her instantly, as she basked in the glory of a successful gag. What can I say? I was inspired. What better to welcome my daughter into the family than by pranking her? Tidal watched his students and sisters laugh, and shook his head in good humor.
This is why our family reunions are so short.
Chapter 11. Princess Cadence. You know, it's been a while since I had to do this, Shining said, his heart glowing as he worked to help free Twilight for the diaper Luna had slapped on her. The lavender yellow unicorn was lying on her back, face puckered in a scowl. Actually, that was the exact same look she had worn the last time Shining changed her diaper. Let's hope you don't give me a shower this time. Shining, I swear to Celestia, Twilight grumbled. Her cheeks crimsoned from the sheer embarrassment of the situation. Whatever enchantment Luna had used to block her magic had yet to wear off, leaving her at the mercy of her older brother. Oh, come on. You have to let me have my fun, Twilight. Shining tossed the diaper aside, and Twilight, with as much as he could muster, flipped back onto her hose and scurried out to bed. I mean, have you seen what I have to deal with it? Seen it? I got cuddled by it! Careful, that's your mom you're talking about. Twilight would have to growl, but she found herself staring at a pair of socks that had been tucked under the bed. Why the heck do you have these? She gave him a wide stare. You aren't into... That are you? Shining rubbed the back of his neck. Cadence wanted to try something. It was a phase. Anyway, so you got kidnapped by the princess and treated like a baby. There are some ponies that pay good money for that kind of treatment. Not me. Are you sure? Shining teased. All of my hate, Shining! All of my hate! I don't like hate, Cadence said, trotting into the room. Her pink, purple, and yellow mane, unlike her aunt's, did not billow about her like it was caught in the breeze, but instead seemed to stiff depending on its mood, its brightness depending on how happy it was. And considering that this was Cadence, well, it was lucky it wasn't blinding ponies. It isn't nice in the slightest. She went to a window, pushing it open and letting several songbirds in, who promptly began to flutter about her head, tweeting her happy songs. Twilight leaned in toward her brother. Has he always been so bubbly? Yeah. If she were any sweeter, we'd all get diabetes. Shining took back a laugh. Careful, Twilight. That's my wife you're talking about. Yeah. Just to make it any less true. Twisting her neck back and forth to work out the kinks, Twilight gave her rear a little wiggle, glad to be out of the diaper. Though she had to admit it was functional. She would have been able to study without bathroom breaks. All right, this has been mentally scarring, so I think I'll make my escape. See you all in the group therapy I'm sure we'll need. Do you have to go now? Shining said softly. I mean, it's really nice having someone around that's sane. What about your wife? Twilight teased. Shining! Twilight called it, Cadence called in a panic, looking out the window at the ponies down the street. Those two ponies are fighting! It's so horrible! Twilight and Shining joined the young princess at the window, staring down at the scene. Cadence, sweetie, that's a cop trying to stop a mugger. Well, now they're cult friends. Cadence said, her horn glowing. Twilight's face screwed up in disgust as the enchanted police pony suddenly found a new use for his handcuffs. Tattoos. Cadence said, almost maniacally. You were asking about sanity? Shining Armor said dryly. I see your point. Shrug the horn. That's it! Cadence cackled, lip eye twitching, and mouth screwed up in a strange twisted grin. Seeing the princess acting so unhinged made Twilight wonder if they wouldn't have been buried off with the changelings taking over. At the very least, the brothels would have seen their profits skyrocket. Okay, sweetie, I think you spread enough love today, Shining said calmly, guiding his grinning wife away from the window. I bet Twilight's hungry. Could you get her something to eat? Instantly, her face reverted to normal. Of course, Shining Armor. Cadence happily left the room, leaving the brother and sister to stare at her handiwork on the street below. That is going to break so many decently laws, Twilight muttered. So, when did Cadence go insane? Her therapist thinks it has something to do with post-traumatic stress disorder. Apparently being locked away in a cavern while a bug pony takes your form and brainwashes all your friends and fiancé can cause some mental scarring. Yeah, that might do it. Being tackled by the foal you used to love to foal sit and accused of being a monster also doesn't help. Twilight visibly deflated. Yeah, I bet. Almost as much as having your brother not believe you and side with the same bug queen after he failed to tell you he was getting married. Oh, and he never apologized at all. Very, very scarring. Right. Shining rubbed the back of his head. So scarring. Shining awkwardly looked about the room. So, you think the Detroit Red Wings will win the cup this year? Are you honestly trying to talk sports with me? Shining sighed in defeat. Yes, please. It's been months since I've been able to discuss hockey. I can't talk to the princesses about it. Tile just screams at the players to kill each other and be done with it. And the last time I took Cadence to a game, she used her magic and the whole thing was called off due to an orgy! Oh, that was a special day, Cadence said happily, trying back into the room, a treat in his face floating next to her. Oh, said happily, trying back into the room, a plate of treats floating next to her. All those ponies hitting each other, first in a bad way, and then in a good way. Kane's smile grew very disturbing. Then in a bad good way, and a good bad way. She took off her mania and started to sort out the treats. Now then, we have some cupcakes, some lemon squares, brownies. Cadence paused when she saw Shiny standing behind his sister, finally slashing his hoof across his throat, pointing at Twilight. Oh, I seem to have forgotten the brownies. Twilight leaned toward the plate. But there are some right. Cadence lifted all 5 brownies to the air with her magic and stuffed them into her mouth. There! Woof! She exclaimed, struggling to swallow her mouthful. Then I guess a cookie will do, Twilight said, giving Shining Armor a look that clearly screamed, What the heck did you see in her? So, Lord Tidal told us about the little prank he pulled on you. Cadence said happily, wiping the bits of brownie away from her lips. I thought it sounded like so much fun, making up stories about that little piggy filly, so I came up with one myself. I'm not asking ponies to. Twilight grabbed his sister and pulled her close, whispering, Please, just let her tell it. I don't want to guess what will happen if you reject her. We've lost 15 guards that way. She killed them? No. Oh. Oh! Twilight's eyes widened hard. Okay, Princess Cadence, go right ahead. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away from Equestria, there lived a king and queen who longed for a fall of their own. They prayed and they hoped, and even they considered hiring some thugs to go rob a maternity ward, but in the end, they were blessed with a happy little filly. They named her Scootaloo, and she was truly a lucky little pony. Her coat was orange, like the ripest of oranges, and the top of her head was capped with a mane of brilliant violet hair that made every mare jealous. Her days with her parents were happy, and all hoped that it would never end. But their happiness was short-lived. Threats to the kingdom forced the king and queen to send their child out into the wild, to fend for herself while they dealt with the demons at the gate. It was the only way to protect her, and it was with heavy hearts they sent her into the ever-free forests. So, to protect her, they sent her off alone with no bodyguards or anything? Twilight. Sorry. Scootaloo wandered the ever-free forest, looking about her with wide, curious eyes. While others might have been terrified by the dark, spooky trees, Scootaloo only saw a place filled with magic that needed a little love and attention to make it better. She began to skip along, humming to herself. Unbeknownst to her, all the evil and wicked creatures that had stalking her suddenly found their hearts touched by her joy, and turned upon their brethren, guarding the filly and protecting her from any threats. Soon, the little princesses came upon a stray cottage in the middle of the woods. It was filled with exotic artifacts and mystical items, but to Scootaloo that mattered little, for it was a very dark place she could sleep. What she didn't realize was that this cottage belonged to the 7 mini mares, because who would ever think that a house could belong to some pony? Twilight, remember what Mom used to do when you interrupted? Not the soap! Not the soap! The 7 mini mares happily marched toward their cottage, singing the song they always sang after work, because reciting mathematical equations would have been crazy. High tears, we are the singing mares. To our home we happily go. High tears, high tears, high tears, high tears, high tears, high tears. We sing to the forest bears. We're stressed out runts. We need to please our... Oh, hey, careful there! Oh, sorry, Twilight. Just got caught up in the song. Hey, I think some pony busted into our house! A silent mini-mare complained, hurrying over to the slightly ajar house. Some pony don't like my oats! An orange pony complained. Some pony's been sleeping in my Fabia's chair, the one with the blue flow-through! A white mare whined. And that is the worst thing ever! Looky, some pony slept in my bed and they got this little filly there! pink mare giggled, jumping on the bed. Hey, Missy, do you know who slept in my bed? I think it was her, a laboratory mini mare said. She trotted over to the bed, doing her best to smile as the filly slowly awake. Shh, it's okay. We won't hurt you. Who are all of you? We are the 7 mini mares, the laboratory pony said. I'm Brago. I'm Bucko, the orange one proclaimed. I'm Kivo, darling, the white one stated. Rainbow I be. That's easy to see, a black and white mini zebra said. How do you know about Sakura? You mean Princess Sakura? She's acting ambassador for Sabrika. She's what? I'm Yakko, the lavender one said. I'm Yakko! The pink one giggled, having somehow been able to change into a blue shirt and red hat in the 15 seconds the others had introduced themselves. And I'm, Dot, the yellow one stated, giving a little curtsy. The princess smiled, stretching as she rose from the bed. I'm Scootaloo, pretty little princess and friend to everyone. Gag me. I'm considering it, Twilight. I'm considering it. Scootaloo, sensing that all these mares were ponies that she could trust, told them all about her life and what led to her coming to her cottage. She spoke of the war against her kingdom, and how she had traveled there to find safety, and all they knew all what she needed to feel better. Pie? Pie? Wacko giggled, grabbing the filly and dragging her into the kitchen. Of course, everything is better with pie! You know, I knew as a live reader for Pony Fix I would encounter songs, but I think this is going to be the most music I've ever done for this show. Pray for me, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for me. It's a wonderful day for pie. You can ask all the birds in the sky, and they'll tell you real sweet with a musical tweet. It's a wonderful day for pie. For pie. For pie. For pie. For pie. Wow. And I thought my friend's singing was weird and random. Yeah, I always thought it was strange that everyone in this kingdom bursts into song every few days. It's a wonderful day for pie. And this rhyming is easier for I. Even the tiniest mouse plays by Gregory House. The bees making honey. Why am I here? OCs aren't funny. We all sing with glee cause we all agree it's a wonderful, wonderful day for pie. Well, at least this story won't end with Pink Macintosh and Fluttershy having sex. Shining Armor stared at his sister, wondering if that diaper had been strapped on too tight and given her brain damage. How tight a diaper would be to cause that, she had no clue. But still, why would you even mention that? Twilight sighed. It was a theory I heard yesterday, that Scootaloo is the child of Fluttershy and Big Macintosh, since he came from the future to ensure they get together. Shining Armor wasn't satisfied with her answer. But what does that have to do with your friend and some pony named Big Macintosh having sex? Well, at the end of the story, they had sex in front of Everypony right after the song. That is what my story is missing! Cadence said with a wicked grin that would have done Discord proud. Hot, hardcore sex! Say what now? Twilight Signing said. The song finished, and Wacko turned towards the princess and the mini mares, licking her lips lewdly. And this pie, it's very special, Wacko said, running her hoof down her stomach. So yummy and sweet. Who wants a taste? I do! I do! Brago exclaimed, leaping onto Wacko, her wings springing to full attention. Gibble and Bucko were off in the corner, tossing hooves. Cadence? There was a sudden knock on the door. And when Yakko opened it, she was startled to see a strapping black Pegasus with huge muscles and massive wings walk right into the cottage. Hi there, I'm the pizza delivery guy. We didn't order pizza, Scootaloo said. That's okay. I got something just as hot and spicy for you to wrap your lips around. He paused, letting that sink in. And by that, I mean my pizza! Bow chicka wow wow, Cadence sang, thrusting her body slightly, much to the horror of Shining Armor and Twilight. Bow chicka wow wow, chicka wow. And I thought seeing you in a diaper would be the most scarring sight event in my day. Shining muttered, listen, this has been disturbing, but I really need to go. We could give you a ride? Cadence said heavily, never noticing the double entendre he had just made. No, I'm good. Twilight's horn glowed, and a light bulb magically appeared over her head. I'm just going to break a promise to a friend.
Say what now?
Breaking a promise to a friend is the surest way to lose a friend, Twilight said quickly. The moment the words left her mouth, Pinkie punched out of a potted plant. Forever! Twilight wrapped her foreleg around Pinkie's neck, cutting her comment off. Take me home now! Okie dokie! Pinkie choked out, yanking the both of them through the potted plant and back into Ponyville. Shining looked into where his sister had been and sighed. Gee, thanks, Twilight. Leave me alone with my rich and powerful nymphomatic wife, who is now so wrapped up for sex that she will try anything I ask it. Wait, why am I complaining about this? He turned, giving Cadence a saucy grin. Oh, Pookie Bear! Defender, I swear, this has probably been the most raunchiest, dirtiest part of the fic I have ever read in my entire life! Thank you!